You'll have no doubt heard of the conflict between India and Pakistan. What is really happening? Well, the heart of the conflict lies in the competing claims over the Kashmir region. India administers approximately 55% of the land, including the Kashmir Valley, Jammu and Ladakh, while Pakistan controls about 30%, known as Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. China also administers a smaller portion. The initial conflict in 1947 and 48 arose when Pakistan-backed tribal militias invaded Kashmir, leading the Maharaja to accede to India in exchange for military assistance. The resulting war ended with a UN-mediated ceasefire and the establishment of the Line of Control, or LOC, which serves as the de facto border. A UN resolution called for a plebiscite to determine Kashmir's future, but this has never been held. In addition, India has long accused Pakistan of supporting and training militant groups that carry out attacks in administered parts of Kashmir by India. Pakistan denies these allegations, stating that it only provides moral and diplomatic support to the Kashmiri people's right to self-determination. An armed insurgency has been active in Indian-administered Kashmir since 1989. Recently, however, there was a deadly attack on tourists in Indian-administered Kashmir on the 22nd of April 2025, so consequently, tensions between India and Pakistan have sharply escalated. India has implicitly blamed Pakistan for the attack, a charge Pakistan denies. This incident has led to diplomatic downgrading, since both countries have downgraded diplomatic ties and expelled each other's nationals. Suspension of treaties. India has suspended its participation in the Indus Waters Treaty, a crucial water sharing agreement. Pakistan has threatened to walk away from the 1972 similar agreement, which formalized the LOC. Cross-border firing. Exchanges of small arms fire across the LOC have been reported for several consecutive nights. Military posturing. Pakistan has claimed to have seen Indian fighter jets over its airspace and shot down Indian spy drones. Rhetoric of imminent military action. A top Pakistani military official recently stated the belief that India might carry out strikes. Nuclear dimension. Both India and Pakistan possess nuclear weapons, adding a dangerous dimension to the conflict. While both countries understand the devastating potential of nuclear war, the risk of miscalculation during periods of high tension remains a significant concern. And lastly, international involvement. The International Committee, including the United Nations and various countries like the United States and the European Union, has urged both sides to exercise restraint and pursue dialogue to de-escalate the situation. Pakistan has also reached out to its Gulf allies to help ease tensions. There are different viewpoints on what should happen and how we should work to make sure such things don't happen again. Pakistan, for instance, wants the UN to be involved, whereas India doesn't. However, me and many people who don't have ancestry in Kashmir aren't particularly affected by this. Or so you thought. Recently, Pakistanis were making a throat-slitting gesture against Indians due to them shouting outside the Pakistani High Commission. Other protests have happened recently and in the past about this, and more are set to take place. Tumultuous times indeed. Reform UK have achieved noticeable wins in recent local elections, securing hundreds of council seats across England. They also won the Runcorn and Hellsfield parliamentary election, overturning a previously strong Labour majority. They have also gained local government control in areas such as Durham County Council and other councils in areas such as Staffordshire and Lincolnshire. They also won the Greater Lincolnshire mayoral election. This all adds fuel to the fire in the claims that reform will soon be in power, especially since elections weren't held in many parts of the UK, probably because reform would have won. Nigel Farage has declared that these results signify the end of two-party politics in the UK. The results have led to questions being asked about the future of the Conservative Party since they have underperformed and most reform voters used to vote for the Tories. The Conservatives used to be the right-wing party, but reform's harder stance on immigration and Euroscepticism has meant more voters have found their footing there. This means reform has further increased their political dominance and has a higher chance of getting into power. That's not the only set of changes which could impact this country severely. King Charles's general ill health and recent cancer diagnosis have sparked some interesting claims. The Regency Acts are a series of acts of Parliament that provide for a regent to act in place of the monarch if they are incapacitated or a minor. Prince William may become regent because of the king's condition. He has already been carrying out more royal duties than he used to, making this seem ever more likely. The royal family have been saying that the king is still carrying out his royal duties and they visibly don't want these rumours to gain too much traction, but some pockets of the media have other plans. It will be interesting to see what happens and if Prince William has any obvious differences in ruling to the king. There has been a mass shooting in Minneapolis. 3 people were killed. a teenager identified as Joseph Douglas Goodwin, who was 17, a man, Goodwin's 27-year-old friend, and a woman, one pair of 20-year-old twins, named Morel White. Two other people, the other twin sister, Malaise White, and another man, were seriously injured and taken to the hospital. The man was reported to be in grave condition. It occurred in an alley. Sadly, about an hour after the initial mass shooting, police responded to reports of another shooting 5 blocks south and found evidence of gunfire. A man was later dropped off at a hospital with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound, and investigators are working to determine if the two incidents are related. It seems likely that this was targeted against North Americans specifically, as all the victims were of that heritage. James Duane Ortley has been arrested and charged with this horrible crime. Moving on to happier news, gene therapy which can restore sight, likely pertaining to a significant breakthrough in the treatment of Leber congenital amaurosis, or LCA, has been underway this week. LCA is a group of rare inherited eye disorders that cause severe vision loss or blindness from early childhood. Typically, a harmless virus is engineered to carry the correct version of the gene. This virus is then injected into the eye, where it can enter the retinal cells and deliver the therapeutic gene. The hope is that the cells will then start producing the necessary protein, leading to improved vision. This should work for LCA, and it has paved the way for hope that this can be used to cure other diseases causing blindness, although the technology is still in its infancy. Of course, some people aren't happy. A few people, who I believe to be mistaken, think that this is indicating that disabled people are inferior in value, so this shouldn't go ahead. I think that this is mad, but what do you think? See you next Sunday.